Do you remember what episode it is?
638.
I don't think that's it. I think it's 639.
Look it up.
I'm gonna. You would think a producer would know these things.
You would think.
No, you're right. 638. Good for you, honey. Yay!
Don't patronize me, number one. Number two, maybe.
Is it patronize or patronize?
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 638. You sound like Daryl in Bob's Burgers when he sings. That's how he sings.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
I am Jamie with my producer today. Producer Dub is in the house. Hello.
Hi.
Stephanie will be back next week where we will update everybody on our lives.
But what if this is the greatest show ever? And then you won't invite her back, right? Like it'll just be us moving forward?
Sisters before misters. Always.
I mean, that's not going to happen. I'm just saying, what if, like.
We finished watching the Raiders win today after we finally eliminated that toxic relationship. See what happens when you get out of toxic relationships, girls? That's what happens. You win.
Even if it costs you $85 million, just rip the Band-Aid off and make it happen.
Just do it. Happiness over security.
Yep.
He was so horrible. Do you know what I read? He had done I guess he did a little chit chat with a sports reporter. Mm-hmm. And he told his children on Halloween before trick-or-treating that he got fired so that it ruined everybody's evening. Uh-huh. And I'm like, oh, that seems on brand.
Did you hear the rumor that he dressed up as Mark Davis?
No.
For Halloween?
No.
And got to something, I'm sure it's wrong, but that he dressed up as Mark Davis for Halloween and they laughed about it and then he fired him. But I don't think that's
I don't
true,
care at all. There is a very small select group of reporters who are trying to eke some kind of sympathy. And I'm like,
he gone.
Stop it. Okay.
He
was bad. Asshole.
He was a terrible hire.
Horrible.
Never should have been hired.
And, the Denver Bronco fans are like, tried to tell you. No, you didn't have to tell us. We all saw. We all knew.
And you know what? The thing is, like, yes, they cut this guy out, and yes, we can move on, and all those things are important. However, he cost us Derek Carr.
Well, I don't know. I read a thing today that said that he didn't have much to do with that, that was more above office, but I don't know.
Complete bullshit. He cost us Derek Carr. No question in my mind. He wanted his offense. Right. Derek Carr wasn't going to be part of that. Derek Carr survived way more before him, and that was just the last straw. I'm glad for Derek Carr that he's in a good spot now, but he should have been a Raider for life.
Well, that was the goal.
Yeah.
Anyway. But they won today, so that's all that matters.
For today. No, it's to me, it's not all that matters, but for
just
today.
Just win, baby. That's what I said, for today.
Yeah, for today.
Stop fucking mansplaining me. I'm saying what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not mansplaining you. Don't say that shit to me. No, I'm not. I'm not talking to you. Not talking to you. I'm saying in general. As a Raider fan, the damage has been done. It was nice that we won today.
Yes, that's what I said. Roll the tape.
Then I'm agreeing with you, not mansplaining to you. Watch it.
Don't tell me what to watch. I had to wag my finger at you last night.
I know, that was dumb. Oh, whatever.
Just get a little too comfortable. Just don't get so comfortable.
You know what? If I wagged my finger at you in public, you would lose your fucking mind.
Do not ever talk to me like that you did in public yesterday.
I
won't wag my finger at you.
There was nothing wrong with what I said or how I said it, and you wagged your finger at me. But it's fine. It's fine.
It is fine. You learned.
I learned.
Actually, speaking of, so Frances Bean, which is Kurt Cobain's daughter.
Okay.
And Tony Hawk's son got married.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Sure.
So now he gets to get mansplained, or he gets to mansplain Frances Bean. How do they even know each other? That was what was crazy to me. It's like, how do they even know each other? There's another
one that's weirder than that. What a
strange thing.
What's the other one that they got married where they're like taking on each other's name and they were confused as to why she wouldn't hyphenate or something like that? There's another like celebrity one.
Celebrity children?
Yes.
I don't know.
Like different celebrity kids who equally have famous names.
It just makes you wonder how small the socializing pool is. Because like Tony Hawk is really cool.
Yeah, but
it's just such a weird, like, how did they meet? Like, you know what I mean? It's just such a weird, strange thing.
I mean, it's not that far of a stretch to think of a skater and a grunge rocker would find their families would find their ways together. But
I suppose, but it just seems
it is kind of random. But I think it is. I think you're right, though. I think it is those kind of social circles, right? So
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Frances Bean. Mm-hmm. That's terrible.
What, the name?
Yeah.
I don't know. I saw Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker had their baby this weekend, and the middle name it's Rocky 13 Barker, and 13 has 3 E's.
Stupid.
Frances Bean only has 1.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Celebrities, man.
I kind of don't care. Oh, speaking of celebrities, so I guess it was over the weekend, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame had their induction ceremony, and George Michael is in. I honestly was really surprised he wasn't in, because it's not really rock and roll anymore. It's just music now at this point.
Willie Nelson got in too. So
no, I know, but it's like it's more like music influencers. It's no longer rock. They just call it rock and roll, but it's not really. I think we can all agree, and I'm tired of the debate. It's like, no, obviously,
you were an influential icon in music.
In music, yeah, and they're not going to change the name of the museum, so it's fine. So I remember you telling me this a long time ago, that when George Michael was warming up for his shows back when he toured in California, which he didn't when he got really, really famous.
Yep.
He never came back. But he would use Stevie Wonder songs to warm up to.
Actually heard him do it.
Because they sing in the same register.
Yeah, in the key, yep.
Or key. And so I thought it would be super cool if Stevie Wonder came out and had sung something, for the Hall of Fame induction, just because they sing in the same register. And I bet it would have sounded just unbelievable.
It definitely would have. It was the first time I saw George Michael as a solo artist, because I had seen Wham, but I saw George Michael as a solo artist, and because it was an outdoor venue and we were outside in line,
right?
You could hear him warming up, and he was singing "Love Is in Need of Love Today," Stevie Wonder. And it was just unbelievable.
Right. Well, it was Carrie Underwood.
She did One More Try.
She did. And then Miguel.
Yep, he did. Careless Whisper did a fantastic job.
And then Adam Levine did Faith.
Yep. I have not seen any video of that one.
I did.
I've only seen the Carrie Underwood and Miguel stuff.
I thought the Miguel one was really good. I thought the Carrie Underwood one was fine.
Yeah, it just sounded like her. It sounded
Carrie Underwood singing. Yeah. Exactly.
It didn't. Yeah.
And no shade. I mean, she sings better than most people.
Oh yeah, not a bad thing.
And then Adam Levine was like a joke to me. It was just a joke. He was trying. He was like dee 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 dee. Kind of dancing around doing the thing. But the problem is that it just proves how incredible George Michael was.
Yeah, the Careless Whisper one I thought that is a classic kind of pop song, and I thought Miguel did a great job with it. One More Try is an extremely passionate, emotional song for him, and I think she just sang it.
It just shows you his depth of talent. Yeah. It's just no one else can do it.
Like when you and I listen to him, we listen to as much live or, like some of his, even him later doing his early stuff.
Yeah.
Orchestra stuff, things like that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan, obviously. So
the other day, I don't know what you were, okay. So you were asking me about the Beatles, because the last track the Beatles will ever produce and publish has come out.
Yep.
And I can't remember the name of it.
Now and Then.
And we saw the little documentary where it was like a 13-minute documentary, how they digitally enhanced John Lennon's voice off of a cassette tape.
Yep.
And how they finally, after 20-something years, came back. Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr and Peter Jackson, everybody came in, created this final Beatles track. And it's really cool.
Yeah. It was really, I guess they tried to do it in the 90s. And they could not separate his voice and the piano, and it just wasn't good enough quality. And then the technology obviously improved, and so they tried it again. And
it was like flawless.
It's great. Yeah, it's great.
And it was the documentary was incredible. The song is great. It's not
Yeah, but it's John, so.
Exactly. That's what's so great about it.
And John and Paul still sound good together.
I mean, he harmonizes with them, and it's like, dang, it's like there's just another iconic.
Apparently,
group.
There's a music video.
Oh,
yeah. So
okay,
Peter Jackson put a music video together using unseen footage because obviously he did the documentary, but he still had tons and reels and reels and reels of footage. And there's literally a scene where, like, I think George is Sergeant Pepper clothing, and like he puts them all together somehow. I haven't seen the video, but I heard about it.
Anyway, so you were asking me about the Beatles, and I have a very strong fandom with the Beatles. I always have since I was a very little girl, and I don't really know why. I just, how certain bands or music, you just go, I don't know. It's just it just. Did
your parents listen to them a lot?
Well, my dad did. My dad is the one that's really into music. My mom's like, she likes Motown and stuff and country, but she wasn't a big musical, like we didn't have music playing all the time at our home. But yeah, I was obsessed with them at one point. I was just obsessed with the Beatles, and I don't know why, but I just was. And so, but now, and this goes for just about anything that I like musically, when someone goes, oh yeah, do you like them, or, whatever. And if I really, really like them, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. It's none of your fucking business. Is how my attitude. It's so weird. I'm like, why am I so like, I don't want to talk about it.
You become grumpy about your musical preferences?
It's not grumpy. It's like, I just don't want to share my love for it with you. It's not strange. It's always been that way.
No.
Yes. No. I mean,
I disagree.
You're telling me about me?
I disagree. That I feel like you are passionate about it, but you're much more selective about how you share it. I do not like to talk about my love for the Beatles. Yeah. I don't. I don't know why. Is it that one in particular or anything? Yeah.
I can't think. I mean, right now off the top of my head, I can't think of stuff. But it's like
feels like something you should be able to do with a podcast.
When I talk to. When we talk about my favorite, because I was really into grunge,
yeah.
And I don't like to talk about it. I don't like I just refuse.
I think you're selective though, right?
What does that even mean, selective?
For example, I heard you,
Tyler and I did. Yes. We got in depth. Right.
The other day, and saying you had a vampire conversation along the same lines today.
Yes. But that is, I don't know. That's just not the same.
But he's your son, though, too. Like, that's different, right? Yeah, like, that's not. But even
talking to him about it, it was very surfacey.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm not really. But you know what it is? Is music is very personal.
Sure.
And so I'm very closed off.
I
don't like to feel. I don't know. I don't want to, you know what it is? I don't want to hear the opinion. I don't want to hear the agree to disagree. I'm not interested in a debate or a conversation about stuff that I really, really love. And so I'm like, yeah, I do. It's fine. That's good.
That's interesting.
Crickets. Yeah, but I had this weird epiphany about it when you asked me about it, and I almost got defensive. And you're like, don't you like the Beatles, don't you? And I'm like, yes, of course. Who doesn't?
I don't know. That feels kind of grumpy.
It's not grumpy. I just didn't want to. I just don't like to open myself up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really weird. But even if I do share things like, yeah, I do love it or whatever, it's very superficial. It's not heavy.
Yeah, it's like
I do
guess
not
that's
get
unusual
into it.
because you usually, the more passionate about something, the more likely you would be able to want to talk about it, and yet you are internalizing it a little bit.
I do. Hardcore. But I just recognize it's it was like an epiphany I had. I'm like, God, it's so weird. I don't want to have like-minded discussions with people because I don't know. It's my private personal thing.
Do you think
it's music? Everybody loves music.
Okay, but if it's about more than music though, do you think that, and I know we don't normally go this direction on this show, but do you think the nature of politics in the last several years has done that to people to where they just don't want to get into it if they're passionate about something, regardless of what it is?
I don't know. I do not feel like society has curtailed my ability to communicate, but it's specifically
not
music.
Your ability, your willingness, though.
Right. I specifically feel like that with music.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll tell anybody, it's like, well, what do you watch when you're crying, when you feel like crying? I'm like, well, that's easy. And I'll just go down the list of how I like to emotionally cut.
Sure.
For if I'm in a bad mood or whatever, it's like, that's easy. But when it comes to music specifically, I'm just not into it. I don't know why. And I find it weird. It's not like I'm like, yeah, this is just who I am. I don't like it or I don't understand it. It's really crazy. But it's like, when you ask me, you're just like, I know you love the Beatles. What is your favorite song? And I'm like, in my mind, my immediate response was none of your fucking business.
Well, that could just be me.
I don't know why.
I bring out the absolute best in you, clearly.
It was so weird. And I'm like,
actually,
I don't know.
Now that you say that, there have been musical things like I'll tell you somebody's coming in concert or something like that. Yes. Or like, in fact, and again, this was Beatles not too long ago, is I told you the day that iHeart announced the Paul McCartney Life and Lyrics podcast and that he was going to do this big thing. And I thought you'd be super excited about it. And it was crickets. It was no response whatsoever. So that is
weird.
That's weird.
It's so
I feel like that's weird. I feel like it's such an innocent, cool thing to be passionate about.
What,
and
music?
Yet
I don't think I don't know. Maybe it's just, I don't know. It's weird though.
Are you
it's
tired
so
of people commercializing stuff you like? Because it's a little late for that for the Beatles.
No, it has nothing to do with the Beatles. That's just an example. But I kind of feel like that about art as well. Some art, I'm just like, do you want to do this? Yeah, sure. Anyway, I just thought that was a really interesting thing. I'm like, wow, I haven't surprised myself in a long time with my behavior, like things that I notice about myself. Because I know my weird, quirky shit pretty well. And I just know how to manage it.
Yeah.
But then I realized, I'm like, why did I respond like so defensively? That's just so crazy. But because it's not like I don't like to tell people what I like. But just even in mixed company, like, what are we going to listen to? And I'm like, I have no fucking idea. Don't ask me. Even though in my mind, I might have 100 things I'd like to listen to. I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't want to share it with anybody. It's not like it's music that no one knows. I'm not one of those weird people like, oh, it's a band you've never heard of. I'm not that arrogant, like, oh, it's cute that you like mainstream music. I like this weird eclectic crap no, that's not it at all. Actually, I like, normal stuff that everybody likes. But anyway, I just thought that was a weird thing.
And you feel like this is like, it was an epiphany in the sense that
I didn't realize I was doing it.
Like, no, I know that part, but I mean,
because I'm like, why am I annoyed that someone would ask?
Well, that part's definitely me, but like, I mean, I need you to get me out of this conversation for a minute because
all,
I can annoy you with the bet. Oh, you did, because you said I talked to you about the Beatles, and that's when the epiphany hit you.
Well, that is true. That is true.
So maybe it's not a character trait. Maybe it's just I was annoying you at the moment.
I don't think so, because it was ragey, but it was more like,
oh, it was definitely me then.
I just was more like, I don't want to share that part of me with anyone. What's
funny though is that,
maybe it's because I give so much of myself to my family and to you that can I have just one thing that's mine?
It is interesting. It does dawn on me now that, you're not a huge fan of the music I listen to when we're driving.
I hate all of the music.
And so you'll but here's the thing though, this goes with your epiphany is that you won't say anything.
Nope. It's your car. You can listen to whatever you want.
I mean, it'll be like, I'll change it because you're being so quiet. And I'm like,
so
okay.
What?
And I'll change it. And then there are some where we'll be listening and then like halfway through the song, how much longer are you going to make me endure this catastrophe of a musical selection that you have placed on the electronic device in the console of this vehicle?
Maybe I'm a snob.
No, because snob means that my music it's not up to your standards. It is more like it's how you approach the. What did you call it? The rage. See, do you have? You have.
Makes me ragey.
Wait, you have. You have music rage, not road rage. You have music rage.
Yeah, you know what? We just have very different tastes in music. And you know what? Isn't that a great thing about being married for a long time? Instead of just dating, is when you're dating, you'll be like, oh no, it's totally fine. I love it. And then you've been married for you're like, why? Why are we listening to Kenny Loggins again? I don't understand why.
Well,
do you love it?
That's a playlist function.
Do you love it?
It's a weakness in the app that I use is it starts playlists from the beginning, even though I have them on shuffle. So you get This Is It a lot.
There have been times in my life.
Oh man! I think. By the way, I know it's over, but I did see. Speaking of Kenny Loggins, I saw a very cool Halloween costume that I meant to talk to you about, which was it was a little tiny kid, like baby, like not even one, probably maybe one, in a wagon because they're too little to walk, so there's in a wagon.
Sure,
right? But the wagon is covered in AstroTurf. And then there's a little golf flag. And there's a hole in the AstroTurf. And the kid's dressed up like a gopher.
Oh, I saw that.
So he was the gopher from Caddyshack.
That was really cute. I
cute.
saw that.
Anyway, speaking of. Anyway. Well, I apologize that I bring out the ragey in your... response to musical
I don't
selections.
think that's it. It's just that you're the one that I talk to the most about stuff. But in general, I'm just not. I know it seems like that wouldn't be it, but I actually am not very big on pushing my opinion out on people.
Which is weird too, because I credit you with a lot of I have either discovered new or come to appreciate several artists because of you. That I actually was not a Beatles fan. I was not a Tom Petty fan. I was not any of those things.
Oh, you hated them.
Yeah, I did not like them. I didn't.
Well, the problem is with stuff like that.
But then as I got older and you introduced more of their music to me.
Well, here's the problem is radio plays literally the worst tracks of any artist. I mean, literally. Every artist that's super popular, their radio stuff is the least good on their albums.
In many cases.
Almost always. Sure. People think they hate Prince until they listen to an album of Prince and they go, oh, Little Red Corvette's like the worst song on this album. Like, yeah, no kidding. I don't know why they picked that one.
Yeah, it's funny
but it's like,
too.
It's George Michael, same. Wham.
Oh, for sure.
They were great, obviously.
Well, they were made to be pop, but I do think that...
But that's my point.
Actually, that reminds me, I was telling somebody this story. We were... so I have Prince artwork behind me when I'm on all my Zoom calls for work. And we were waiting for somebody to show up to a call, and we were talking about seeing Prince. And speaking of what you said, one time that we saw him at the Memorial Auditorium... We were very late for a GA show.
Right.
And had no business getting basically 10 feet away from the stage because we were so late, you would think. But everybody sat in the seats. And when I'll never forget this, we walked in and we go, all those fools in the seats and that rim the little venue we were at, Purple Rain fans. Like, that's what you know about Prince. Right. And that's why you're here. You're here to hear Purple Rain, and you're not down because this guy is world-class musician, all these other things. And they were just, I remember thinking they were the only thing they knew about Prince was Purple Rain.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is good, but
it's not a bad thing. It's just like
he's such a different artist than what radio has shown people.
For sure. Oh.
Anyway.
No question. Anyway. Sorry about your music, Rich.
The last thing that I want to mention before you share your ugly and awkward moment is so we're watching with our son Tyler. Mm-hmm. We're watching Gen V on Amazon Prime, and it's like a
side story. It's The Boys, right?
Compendium of The Boys, which is an amazing show on Amazon Prime about psychotic superheroes, basically. Yep. And Gen V is the kid version of these psychotic superheroes, and they're a bit psychotic. God, they're okay. But the thing is, and I assume that a lot of it. Well, first of all, they're college students, so lots of sex, lots of partying, all stuff, and because it's Amazon, which is basically what HBO used to be, it's very gratuitous. Now, if I was watching this by myself, I have no problem with it. Like, I can watch it and be like, oh, that's hot, whatever. They're all good looking people. So, it's
not just hot, it's graphic. Like,
it's very graphic.
Like genitals exploding.
Yeah, but I meant the sex scenes. But
course.
yes, the violence and the sex are very graphic. And so I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I have no problem with any of it. I'm just like, oh, cool, whatever. And but we're watching last night, and there is a extended sex scene of this guy losing his virginity and all this other stuff, and it's pretty graphic. And I'm like,
there's actually almost no nudity in it, though. Like him, yes, but not.
Well, okay, whatever. Anyway, I don't mean graphic like we can see holes or anything.
Yeah, no,
I just mean it's clearly sex.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know what? I'm a cool person, but I'm not this cool. I cannot watch sex scenes with even though he's a full ass grown ass man,
He's
adult.
31.
I cannot watch sex scenes with my child in the room.
Not. No.
I barely like doing it with you in the room, but it's different.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like if you and I watch something that's sexually charged, you're just like sexually charged. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm having sex tonight. Whereas with my child in the room, I'm like, nope. I noped right through it. And it was long. I was like, God, we still fast forward.
15-second jumps.
It took forever. It was like 3 minutes.
It was, even he looked at you and he goes, yeah, it was awkward.
Well, and Tyler's kind of a prude when it comes to stuff like that. And so, which I don't, whatever. But I assume it's because his parents were in the room. I hope.
I would think.
But anyway, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Can anyone watch sex scenes with their parents in the room?
That is weird.
No matter how cool they are.
I'd be very curious what people thought about that. So I actually looked
I can't be the mom going, it's natural. No, it's not.
No.
It's not, Lois.
Not with your parents. I think that there was something along those lines, though. There was a study like earlier this year out of, I want to say UCLA, definitely a Southern California school, where they interviewed Gen Z folks, 10 to 30 or 25 or whatever they are. Not the 10-year-olds didn't get these questions, but there was some sex on TV type questions. And they were very like, we would like to see less. They want more platonic, more friend, more whatever, and less sex on TV.
Is our puritanical era coming into?
I don't know. I thought it was pretty
focus?
Interesting, though. I thought it was kind of different.
Weird.
Yeah.
I had read something.
And I don't feel like there's a lot of it, but maybe because it's streaming, they're seeing more of it than we did. Maybe. Well, as kids,
first of all, they've been looking at porn since they were 12.
Sure,
because they have smartphones.
Right.
Everybody says that.
Fair.
So I mean, that could be they're
maybe
just kind of
desensitized and just.
Well, I just remember this was before the pandy, like a year before.
Yeah.
And there was this weird groundswell of celebrity men or men in, that are kind of in the vernacular of the world where you kind of know about them, stand-up comedians, actors, whatever, singers. And they were like, I don't want to do porn anymore. I don't want to look at it anymore. And they're like, I'm kind of done with it. I've seen all I need to see. And now I'm kind of like done. I don't, I've deleted all whatever the apps or websites or whatever. I don't even know how that works because I don't watch porn, but they were like, yeah, I'm kind of over it. I'm done. And it's affecting my sex life and I'm an old man. And it's, that one joke that Adam Carolla gave a long time ago was the one thing that made me laugh. And he said was, it's time to quit porn when you're in the bathroom and you have to put your glasses on to look at it. Where you literally have to go, where are my glasses? I can't see. He goes, do you know how humiliating it is to sit on the toilet with your iPad or your phone and you got to go get your bifocals to look at the whatever, and I'm like, God, that that's got to be a little
that could be
humbling.
Definitely playing a role, just that they're seeing more of it or saw more of it at an earlier age, and therefore they just wish it wasn't.
So
as
now
much.
I'm just wondering, are these kids just like, is there some kind of burnout rate where they just go, I've been seeing this crap for 10 years. I'm over it. It's done. I'm done. I mean, it's possible that's the, underside of access to pornography when you're a very young child.
I didn't think about that. I didn't really, fully read the raw data from the study or anything.
Because it's definitely not their parents teaching them morals.
Yeah, that would be weird.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, well, maybe just having more access, they just don't anymore. So I don't know.
But you know what? Here's the thing: all those 20-somethings, they ain't virgins.
Yeah, but
so
we all when you started fast forwarding last night, me and Tyler, even Tyler looked at you, goes, "Yeah, that was awkward," because it was like lasting too long. Like if it had been a short, like 10-second, and then cut to another storyline, maybe, but. It did drag on, and you're like, I'm uncomfortable.
You know what? I'm always. It's one of the many things that I hate about our United States society is it's so damn puritanical. Sex is such a hot lightning rod. It's so they make it such a thing when it doesn't have to be such a thing. You know what I mean? It's like the one thing Europeans get right.
Right.
It's like it's just sex. It's just boobs, whatever. You know. But
hey,
here,
boobs are important.
So, I know, but they act like it's this, you know, it's kind of, to me, it's always this thing where it's like homes where there's always candy or always cookies in the house.
Yeah.
After a while, it's just in the house. Kids aren't constantly getting at it because it's there.
I wish that was happening right now with me, but
because it was just there. But if you keep it away, you're like, no, we will never have cookies. We will never have candy in this house. Suddenly, when you get access to it, it's like you just can't get enough of it because you don't know when you're going to get it again. And I feel like that's the way it is with sex in certain places. You know, in certain places, it's very puritanical.
I thought it was interesting, and they specifically said they wanted to see more friendships and platonic stuff than sex.
I'm bored. Well, you know why? Because they're all of their friendships. All their friendships and stuff are online.
Yeah.
Or on Xbox or whatever. So they get to see people interact and look each other in the eye. I saw something the other day. They're like, it said, generations before Gen Z. You know, if you wanted to talk crap to somebody, you had to look them in the eye. Mm-hmm. And if they weren't fighters, they could break you emotionally. It's like they could either kick your ass physically or they could just hurt your feelings to the point of just throwing you on the ground.
It was an art form.
It is true. I mean, I think it's very challenging to teach children how to insult or hurt someone face to face anymore.
That's true.
I try to teach my kids how to do it, and they're just like, Mama, you can't do that anymore.
I'm not going to say that. I'll get in trouble. And
I'm like, my mom taught me how to punch. We don't do that anymore. I still did it. But I mean, they don't think they'll ever need it. So what are you going to do? Anyway, all right. So do you have an awkward moment?
I do.
Do tell.
Just happened not too long ago. I was going into the bathroom, and my glasses were on my hat. Speaking of bifocals.
Your spectacles.
My spectacles were on my hat, and they slid off my hat as I was looking down to lift the toilet seat up to go pee.
Oh, no.
And no, it gets worse. And then, well, not worse, but I thought it was funny. But when they slid, I tried to catch them. And in the effort of trying to catch them, I must have squeezed hard enough to where both of the lenses popped out. So they didn't break, but the angle or whatever when I squeezed to catch, it was enough for the lenses to pop out.
Both of the lenses in your glasses fell out?
Yes.
Did you fix it?
Yeah. So,
did they fall in the toilet?
So one of them is on the ground. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm looking for the other one. And then sure enough, the other one was at the bottom of the toilet.
Did you pee in the toilet already?
I had not, fortunately.
So was this all happening with your pants down?
No. I hadn't even gotten that far yet. I just literally looked down. But I thought it was funny how both of them popped out, went flying, and one of them was crystal clear, just laying in
the
bottom.
Bumbling fool.
Stupid.
Jeez.
So,
I would say that's not good.
I dismantled my glasses, and they splayed all over the bathroom, and I found one in the actual. I was glad I didn't flush because it would have been gone for sure.
Oh my!
Like if I had already or something like that, it would have been gone for sure. So anyway, then I would have. Oh, by the way, when I go on this work trip, if the candy disappears, that would be great.
The non-chocolate,
the non-chocolate candy. If that either found another home inside the house that I didn't know about. That would be fantastic.
Are you eating it?
I every probably 5-6 times a day I'm grabbing something.
Oh
in that
my
bag.
God!
Yeah. I mean, now I'm not grabbing giant handfuls or anything, but
We just didn't get enough kids.
We did not have enough trick-or-treaters, and I'm paying for it.
And you know what? We actually got the amount that we always get.
Yeah, no, I know.
We didn't get less. We just got like the same 15, 20 kids, and we just gave them one thing. We gave them one full-size bar. We should have just loaded them all up.
Yep.
I will say, mad respect to the dad who dressed up and was trick-or-treating along with his children.
That was nice.
I gave him one. Yeah. I don't care.
He had a bag.
Yeah, he's all trick-or-treat. And I'm like, happy Halloween. I thought it was funny.
Do you have an ugly and awkward moment?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I don't. I'm sure I do, but I just can't think of it right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So
all right.
Anyway, all right. Well, Stephanie will be back next week. And in addition to that, we will be discussing The Golden Bachelor on a separate episode. Honestly, it's good, but I think our take on it is very different, and I'm finding it fascinating because it's brought in a new age of viewer, because the Bachelor, Bachelorette tends to be younger,
right?
Like 20s, 30s. And because the participants are in their early and mid 20s. And so this is bringing in 60 plus female. And we're not 60 plus female, but we're watching it because, this is a new take on the Bachelor franchise.
Yeah.
But the Reddit is just, first of all, there's a lot of 60 plus on Reddit, which is shocking to me.
Well, now.
Well, yeah. But first of all, they've never watched The Bachelor before. So their take on everything is so different. Everything is literal. Yeah. Everything is real. How can this man tell 3 women he loves them? This is absolutely immoral. So anyway, it's been
called a script, people.
It's been fun. They're like, I just don't trust Gary. He's far too smooth. When do they talk about religion? When do they talk about politics? These things matter. Okay. Yes.
All right.
They do, baby. All right. Well, thank you for listening. And Stephanie and I will be back next week. Bye.
Bye.